Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Not So Basic Life show today. And the format of today's episode is a little bit different because I am going to start with a little storytelling. I actually wrote this 2 weeks ago on Silent Day, also known as Nepi here in Bali, where I was just fully in my creative flow. It was interesting because it was something that I spoke a lot about when it happened, but I never really kind of wrote it down, and it just came out that day. So I thought to share that story, and that is going to lead into the topic that we're going to talk about today on how COVID-19 is kind of like that broken relationship, or that relationship that no longer serves you, and one party finally decides that this is it, we're ending this, we're not doing it anymore. So grab yourself a cup of tea, coffee, wine, spirits, whatever floats your boat, because let's be honest, there's no rules now, and you're meant to set your own rules anyway. So let's get started. So I'm just going to read it off the screen because obviously it's on Evernote. So this happened about in October 2017. So it's about 2.5 years now. Close, yeah, 2.5 years. So I'm just going to do a little bit of storytelling, and we're going to get into, I guess, the lessons and how this can kind of be a lesson with the whole COVID-19 situation as well. So we had a holiday planned, one that I almost had to force him into coming along with me. It was our second overseas holiday together in the span of 3.5 years through our relationship. This was also the holiday that was meant to fix us. I've always been a seeker of life. Traveling and exploring is something that I have wanted to do for as long as I can remember. But we never did it because he's happy being at home. You know, he's a homebody, and I think that there's nothing wrong about it. It was just, different. And then he walked out on the door on a Sunday night, and after we got into another fight, we're meant to leave on Thursday, and we tried to patch things up and make it work. I mean, we have a holiday plan, right? So we can't cancel that right now. Priorities, guys. So I gave him an ultimatum. Either he come along with the holiday and visit my parents, or it's over for good. He said yes, but I had a feeling that that wasn't a yes. And my intuition was right. He chucked a Mr. Big on me at the airport. For those of you who never watched Sex and the City, this is a scene in the movie where Carrie was waiting for Mr. Big at the New York State Library before their wedding. Same, but different. So I was broken. I was angry. But when I kind of, in introspect, in retrospect and looking back, I realized that I was broken, but it wasn't my heart that was broken, because I knew that I had fallen out of love yonkers ago. And then I realized I felt broken because the perfect life that I have tried so hard to build has fallen apart. I mean, we look good together. He cooked for me. Something you might need to know is that acts of service is my love language. So if someone cooks for me, that is the top of that list, and that's also how I show love. And mom told me also that I shouldn't be too ambitious, otherwise I would scare the guy away. And most of my friends were either in long-term relationships, engaged, married, or pregnant. So I felt like I was running out of time. And that was when I was 29, and now I'm turning 32 this year, just to put things into perspective. And I guess I felt broken because I felt like I was running out of time. So even though I knew that I had outgrown the relationship, I chose to settle. And I chose to settle and going against my heart. And that's because also I couldn't quite see a possibility beyond my current reality. I mean, everyone around me is like coupled up. So it's like I'm going to be that single crazy cat lady, and I don't even like cats. So, at that time, I've just started my business that year, and never did I ever consider running remotely beyond Sydney. I mean, I had the idea and dream of having a swanky office in Sydney CBD, and the obvious next step, like what society or, what I guess the normal progression in a relationship should look like. It was for us to move in together, but we barely spoke about our goals or vision or like us, like deep conversations about us in the 3.5 years that we were together. Sex was almost non-existent, and it always felt like a chore. And from my end, I just thought that I had low libido. And let's just say it wasn't the case, and I think that probably deserved an episode on its own. But basically what it was our 3.5 years together was so predictable. We had scheduled date nights and zero spontaneity. And I am crazy, so I love surprises. I love doing things like, hey, let's go grab fried chicken now. Hey, let's do this right now. And there was zero of that. And my close friends told me that he was holding me back. And even though deep down I knew, I kind of just brush it off, and, it is what it is. Sometimes you just gotta, take what's best at that time, right? And, if I kind of look back now, I chose to stay because I couldn't see a reality past what I currently have. It's like, if I left that relationship, I'm just gonna be this like single sad person that is single with a business that might or might not work. I mean, what else was I supposed to do, right? Do I walk up to a reunion or a Christmas gathering as the 11th wheel because, well, everyone is taken? I didn't know how to be single at 29. I mean, I was meant to be married by now. How was I meant to find someone in Sydney? The good ones are either taken, gay, or they are just really good friends of mine. And by the way, dating in Sydney is still horrendous till today. FYI, pre-corona. And I wasn't sure if I could live without him. And not because I was so in love with him that I can't see a life without him, but it was more of, I was so used to having someone just being there, like the comfort zone, just that. Despite all the signs and my inner voice telling me that this was not the relationship for me, I chose to stay against my heart and soul. And because I didn't believe that I could do better, I didn't believe that I deserved better, I thought that this is all I can get. And that's why I was broken. I was broken because the facade that I was trying so hard to piece together has fallen apart. I thought that if I tried hard enough to make this work, to create the perfect relationship, to try to be someone, I guess, that fits in the bill a lot more, it would be fine. And it didn't. And that's why it broke me. It broke me because I thought that I had everything under control. And what I was trying to control was the idea of that ideal life that have been fed to me throughout my life, which I have unintentionally and unconsciously accepted and taken in as my own and as what I want. So this was kind of the story that I never quite share in public. I've told my friends about it. And looking back, I'm really, really grateful for how things has ended, and I actually have a lot of gratitude. We don't talk anymore. But, now that I've gone through my own healing through different areas of my life and also doing the inner work, I actually have a lot of gratitude towards my ex-partner for doing what he did. Simply because if he did it, because it was like ripping the band-aid off, that there was really no kind of lingering around of like, hey, let's try to make this work, even though we know that it's not going to work. And how does these relate to the whole COVID-19 situation? I feel like COVID-19 is kind of like the band-aid that was just ripped apart by the universe or by Bill Gates, whatever controversial theory that you really believe in, that someone just decided to end. And in this instant was my ex-partner, that it forces me to really reassess every area of my life. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like the first month or so, it was hard. Like, you know, that feeling of like I thought I had everything in control, and you felt like, I can't explain that feeling actually. I kind of felt the same about 2 weeks ago when I was deciding if I should stay in Bali or not. It was kind of the same feeling of like, I thought I had everything in control. I thought I knew how this is going to pan out, but ultimately it's not. And why COVID-19 is like that bad relationship that ended is because it really forces you to reassess, to look inwards, to ask yourself if this perfect or ideal life, or this reality, or this beautiful movie that you have created in your mind, to ask if that is really what you wanted, or are you choosing to take a blind eye on, you know, the problems that exist, all the signs that have been showing you that you are not on the path that you're meant to be. You're not aligned. You're not living your truth. You are living someone else's life. And it is difficult. It's shit. It's like a breakup, because it's because you put all your energy and effort in however long it may be to curate, to build this perfect life. And you know, in the situation like COVID-19, it might not be a relationship. It could be the job that you thought that you really like. It could be the business that you thought that you're so obsessed with. It could be the partner that you thought that, you know, you had so much connection with, until you have to spend, 24 hours with the same person in such a small compound. All these problems that you have kind of shoved aside, all the dust that you have been sweeping under the carpets, it's all coming into surface, and there's no escape because the band-aid have been ripped off and you are put in that situation. And COVID-19 is kind of the same. It really forces us to reassess different areas of our lives and ask ourselves if that is really what we want to do. Those problems that have came up, like, you know, that crazy boss that you have been complaining for the last 2 years, you know, that friend that you really don't like hanging out with, but you somehow keep finding yourself saying yes to, or that dream of being a published author, that photography lesson that you've always wanted to take, that creative project that you always knew you wanted to do, but for some reasons you haven't. And it sometimes takes something massive like that has such a profound impact in your life to really bring your awareness to bring you back to reality, like reality, not the one that you build in your head, and ask yourself, if this is what I really want, does this make me happy? Am I doing this because of what everyone tells me to? Am I doing this because that's a conventional path, because this is in the system, because this is how it has always been done? If that's how you like to do it, perfect. I think you can probably tune off right now. But if it's not, if you have this inner voice, or if you have this inner urge within you, if your friends have told you that you have this talent in whatever it may be and has been pushing you to do it, this is the time. This is the time where you ask yourself, why are you feeling broken? Why are you feeling unhappy? Why are you feeling unfulfilled? Why are you feeling empty despite all the success that you have? Why are you feeling lonely despite all the friends that you have? And why are you feeling like stuck despite thinking that you have your shit together? Because, well, before COVID-19, you know, you wake up in your swanky downtown apartment, driving your Tesla to work, getting paid, I don't know, like 7 figures a year, hanging around friends that you kind of like, but that you don't go deep in conversations, even though you thrive in deep conversations and things like that. And it's easy to pretend that everything is good because it does look good on the outside. Everyone's like, hey, how is your perfect life going? And now that everyone is forced to stay at home, no one gets to see your $1 million car that you have spent half your working life working for. You can't hang out with friends that you don't quite vibe with, just as a way to avoid the emptiness in you, to avoid whatever it is that you're trying to distract yourself from. There's no way out. And it's what's the word? It's non-exclusive. So it doesn't matter if you're rich, you're poor, whatever it is, we're all stuck in the same situation, which means that all the things that you don't want to face is now coming up. So it's kind of like a relationship that has kind of run its course until one party decides that enough is enough and just slice it. The situation is going to continue. And with COVID-19, I guess the universe think that, many of us have been kind of being asleep throughout our life, been like walking zombies and just, working hard and fighting for things that don't even matter to us, that aren't even important to us. And, and we forgotten what are the things that really matter to us, what truly makes us happy. So I guess the universe has to, boom, here you go, a COVID-19, like that bad relationship, that the ex-partner you have to cut off the relationship so well, it's gone. There's no such thing as being able to trade comfort for growth. So you can either try to be that drunk ex that keep trying to save a relationship that has run its course by sending drunken texts, by trying to get hold of the person, or it's time to look within and ask yourself, like, this is probably the best thing that has ever happened to you, because you now get to reconnect with who you are on the inside, who you are as a person, and really ask yourself, what is it that you really want? Like, what sets you up? Like, what ignites your fire from within? What lights you up from the inside? What are the things that matter to you? Write them down. Because, we're living through a massive history, and, just picture this. Do you want to, once all this is over, whenever that is, do you want to walk out of this thinking, wow, that was, it was hard, it was difficult, it was painful, but it was like the best fucking 3 months that I've ever had, because I've never felt more connected with myself. I've never felt more connected with my purpose, and I've never felt freer than ever. And let me tell you that 2.5 years on, I felt like I've had a rebirth. I have finally started living my life, and I felt like my life started after the breakup, where I really step into who I really am. I get to find myself again. I get to really know who I am as a person without all the things. And this is your chance as well. Take this whole, I don't want to call it like pandemic anymore, because fuck knows what this is. But every crisis comes an opportunity, and this is an opportunity for you to return home to who you really are. So, this is quite a different way of, I guess, going into a podcast as opposed to the usual way. But I quite like this storytelling, because I think that, many of you are probably able to relate, because, I think at some point of our lives, we have settled for things that we know that's not good for us. It's not what we wanted, but we stayed because the pain of growth, or the discomfort of having to unlearn everything to burst a bubble of what we thought was glitters, is a lot more painful than staying in comfort. So hope that helps. And if you need more, if you want to kind of really dive deeper into, different areas of your life. You want to start reflecting the past, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 years, 40, 50 years of your life, and releasing things that no longer serves you. I have a free reflect and release masterclass in the Not So Basic Life free membership hub. So I'll leave the link in the show notes down below so that you can, go through that masterclass and start assessing different areas of your life. And if you need another hint of motivation to kind of get you into that deep work, be sure to check out the last episode around when to stop playing small and start playing big. And I really hope that if these story resonate with you in any way, really the best thing you can do is just to ask yourself questions and just to go within. So that's all, and I'll talk to you guys soon.